Now the standard takes it one step further, and I want you to please look at my timeline. You will remember we have indicated that if there is a loss, that we need to identify if there's future taxable profits. If our answer is no, we may not recognize a deferred tax asset relating to that loss. But now paragraph 35 indicates to us, if there is taxable temporary differences. Remember, what is a taxable temporary difference? A taxable temporary difference will be future profits. Therefore, we provide for a future tax payable. We will have to credit our deferred tax liability in our statement of financial position. We provide for a future payable. Again, debit our deferred tax in our profit and loss. Right. Okay. Now the standard indicates us, if there is a taxable temporary difference, we may recognize a deferred tax asset, but only to the extent, only to the value of that taxable temporary difference. Therefore, when you identify that there is a taxable loss in a scenario, you need to first identify if there's future taxable profits. If your answer is yes, if it's yes, you may recognize a deferred tax asset. If your answer is no, you may not recognize a deferred tax asset. Then you need to identify if there is a taxable temporary difference. If your answer is yes, you may recognize a deferred tax liability first relating to that taxable temporary difference, and then you may recognize your deferred tax asset to the value of that taxable temporary difference. Now, let's have a look at paragraph 35 on the left side of your screen. The existence of unused tax losses is strong evidence that future tax profits may not be available. It makes sense. If you look at a set of financial statements and you identify that there is a large loss in the current year, the standard indicates to you that that is evidence that there might not be profits in future. Okay. Except if you can prove this, that there will be profits. Now, if the entity has a history of losses, we recognize only the deferred tax asset arising from our unused tax losses or tax credits only to the extent that the entity has sufficient taxable temporary differences or convincing evidence that sufficient taxable profits will be available. And there is a criteria in paragraph 36 in terms of probability of taxable profit. Now, let's have a look at this in terms of our deferred tax calculation. Okay, so when you look at our deferred tax calculation, I've included my prior year as well as my current year. Now, let's have a look at the prior year scenario. If we have calculated, let's say, for example, a taxable temporary difference of 200,000, therefore we may recognize a deferred tax liability. The taxable temporary difference of 200,000, therefore this will result in a deferred tax liability of 56,000 if this is a tax rate of 28%. Right, now we have calculated in our current tax calculation, we've calculated a taxable loss to the value of 300,000. And 300,000 times 28%, and this will be an amount of 84,000. Right. Now, first, we had to identify if there will be future taxable profits. Now, our answer is no. Therefore, we may not recognize a deferred tax asset. Now, second, we need to identify if there's taxable temporary differences. Yes, there is, to the value of 200,000. Therefore, if there's taxable temporary differences to the value of 200,000, we may recognize a deferred tax asset in terms of this 200,000. Therefore, if you look at my deferred tax calculation, let me just include my brackets, deferred tax liability. We may now only recognize a deferred tax asset to the value of 56,000. Do you see the actual amount is 84,000, but we may only recognize a deferred tax asset to the value of 56,000. Therefore, if you had to include this in your line item unused tax loss, you will include your 200,000 temporary difference. This will be 200,000, and your deferred tax asset will be the 56,000. Therefore, the net deferred tax will be 0. We recognize a deferred tax asset only to the extent of our taxable temporary difference. Right, let's have a look at paragraph 37. Again, focus on my timeline, please. Let's say, for example, that we are standing on 31 December 2020, right? This year, we have recognized a loss of 100,000, taxable loss of 100,000. But on that date, guys, on 31 December 2020, it is not probable that there will be future taxable profits, and there is no taxable temporary differences. Therefore, we may not recognize a deferred tax asset. But now the year has passed and continued, and we have signed big contracts. And we are now standing on 31 December 20.21. And this was a great year, a very, very great year. The standard indicates to us if it became probable that there will be future taxable profits. For example, we've signed a contract for a 5-year period, and based on the cash flow, it is probable that there will be future taxable profits. We may, and look at this, we may go back and recognize the deferred tax asset relating to the prior year loss, which we've not recognized. We may go back and recognize that deferred tax asset. Therefore, if you look at our deferred tax calculation, initially, when we were standing on, when this is 31 December 2020, we don't have a crystal ball, we don't know what's going to happen, but currently it looks like we're not going to have taxable profits. They did not recognize the deferred tax asset. Okay, but now in the current year, we've identified that there is profit and we have a contract. The standard indicates to us that we may now go back and include our 100,000 loss and recognize a deferred tax asset relating to this loss to be able to use in future. Look at the left side. Reassessment of unrecognized. Unrecognized, we did not recognize the deferred tax in the prior year. The standard indicates unrecognized deferred tax asset to be reassessed at the end of each reporting period. Therefore, at the end of each reporting period, at the end of 2021, we need to go back and just identify, reassess that loss. May we now recognize a deferred tax asset relating to the loss? It is important that you're able to link this to your conceptual framework criteria in terms of an asset. And then it indicates we may recognize the deferred tax asset to the extent that it has become probable that future taxable profits will allow the deferred tax asset to be recovered.